Hi everyone, Violence Matter. Again, this is my fifth collector box of Magic the Gathering Duskmourn House of Horrors. These are my rare and mythic hits out of the box. And let's see how we did here. Okay. First recording. So yeah, I haven't read this one off in other videos. An artifact, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a time counter on cursed recording. Then if there are 7 more time counters on it, remove those counters and it deals 20 damage to you. But you can tap, and when you next cast an instant or a sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. So it's a risky card in that you hope you can get yourself your win before you're dealing 20 damage to yourself. Thus the curse. Marina Vendrell's Grimoire. Whenever it enters, if you cast it, draw 5 cards. You have no maximum hand size, and you don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. And whenever you gain life, draw that many cards. Whenever you lose life, discard that many cards. Then if you have no cards in hand, you lose the game. So it's a kind of a risky game you play, but it's a different way to go for wins. Ancient Cellar Spawn. Each spell you cast that's a demon, horror, or nightmare costs 1 less to cast, so discount. Whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast it was less than its mana value, target opponent loses life equal to the difference. Yeah, so if you're cheating the mana cost somehow, you can do damage. Barbed Flare Gremlin. First strike, haste. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, if Barbed Fire Gremlin is tapped, that player adds 1 mana of any type that land produced. Then that land deals 1 damage to that player. Demolisher Spawn. Trample and haste. So if the delirium is met, other attacking creatures get +4/+4. Enduring Courage. So the enduring cycle here. For the red, whenever another creature you control enters, it gets +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. If this dies, it's no longer a creature and comes back as just an enchantment. Enduring Innocence, the white version, lifelink, and whenever one or more other creatures you control with power 2 or less enter, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. It's just the extended art version, not foil. Enemy entity tracker. Fear of missing out. Oh. Fear of sleep paralysis. So it's got a stun counter thing. Ghostly Dancers. Giggling Skitterspike. It's creepy. Indestructible, and when it attacks, blocks, or becomes a target of the spell, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. And it's got a monstrosity 5 clause on it. So it's only coming in as a mere little 1/1, but you can make it monstrous. And then when it's doing that damage to each opponent, it's going to add up. Kona Rescue Beastie. So at the beginning of your second main phase, if it is tapped, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. So that's kind of like a powerful cheat card if you've got yeah, so you either safely attack with it or tap it down via another ability, and you get to put some big monster out of your hand into the field. Marina Vendrell, a perfect commander for room stuff because it's got this lock or unlock a target room you control. And if you do untap stuff with it, then it gets even more powerful. Miko, Light of Hope. So this is shards become copies of creatures temporarily. So that can lead to definite shenanigans. The Overlord cards, Overlord of Baelmerk. So they have an impending clause. So essentially, when it comes in, it's not a creature. And it becomes a creature after the impending clause is over. So you can get the ETB, but then you got to wait to be able to use it for its attack trigger. Overlord of the Hauntwoods. So this is a nice one here. So this is like the not Japanese language, but Japanese kind of art version, I guess. So this creates the everywhere, every basic land type land tokens. So that's kind of a cool concept. Overlord of the Boiler Villages is throwing damage. Razorkin Needlehead. Reluctance Role Model. Rendmaw Creaking Nest. So this one's a bit unique. Legendary artifact creature Scarecrow, Menace and Reach. And when it enters, and whenever you play a card with 2 or more card types, each player creates a tapped 2/2 Blackbird creature token with flying. The tokens are goaded for the rest of the game. So that definitely puts pressure on all your opponents. Rip Spawn Hunter. Shriekwood Devourer. Trample. And whenever you attack with 1 or more creatures, untap up to X lands where X is the greatest power among those creatures. So you can set yourself up for either doing combat tricks or second main casts. Or, holding up mana for doing instant speed stuff between turns. Silent Hall Creeper. There's the plain version of it. The Mind Skinner. It's Mill Hell. The Swarm Weaver. So when it enters, you create 2/1/1 black and green insect creature tokens with flying. And as long as there are 4 more card types in your graveyard, insects and spiders get +1/+1 and have Death Touch. So yeah, I might investigate that for a spider build. Twitching Doll, Spider Toy, Undead Sprinter, Unstoppable Slasher, Unstoppable Slasher in the normal version, Victor Valgavoth Seneschal. There's the regular version of regular foil version of that, the Victor. Aha! Valgavoth Terror Eater in the showcase. So it isn't the black and red version. And it's not the foil version of this, but still, that's a great hit. The big bad of the set. Winter, Cynical Opportunist. Okay, we have the Dazzling Theater Prop Room creature spells you cast have a convoke and untap each creature you control during each other's untap step. So that's an excellent one. An excellent room to have access to. And this is just a non-foil version of that. Funeral Room, Awakening Hall. So whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And when you unlock this door, return all creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. So someone hits you with the board wipe. That doesn't hit your enchantments. Yeah, then you can insta recover. And this is a foil version. Leyline of Hope. More Leyline of Hope. Leyline of Resonance. So this one's a little cooler. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single creature you control, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Meathood Massacre 2, the sequel, in Showcase. So that's a good hit. Roaring Furnace and Steaming Sauna. So if you unlock this door, this room deals damage equal to the number of cards in your hand to target creature and opponent controls. And the other side is you have no maximum hand size. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. So you can kind of do this room first and then decide to pull the trigger on the other room. Unholy Annex and Ritual Chamber. So at the beginning of your end step, draw a card. If you control a demon, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Otherwise, you lose 2 life. Other side is when you unlock this door, create a 6/6 black demon creature token with flying. So you're paying 5 for a 6/6 flyer, so that's probably okay, and it gives you what you need to work with the other side. Zimon's Hypothesis, so kind of a very conditional kind of wipe. You get to send things that are either odd or even back to their owner's hand. Deluge of Doom. All creatures get -X until end of turn, with X is the number of card types among cards in your graveyard. Sadistic Shell Game. Gruesome guy there. Starting with the next opponent in turn order, each player chooses a creature you don't control. Destroy the chosen creatures. Waltz of Rage. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature. Until end of turn, whenever a creature you control dies, exile the top card of your library and you may play it until the end of your next turn. So I guess that's the carry card in the set, reference-wise. Okay, then we're down to the lands. The Blazemire Verge. Untaps, you can add black. If you have a swamp or a mountain, you can do red. And Dimir, blue, and you can get black if you control an island or a swamp. And the Selesnya version, showcase, in borderless foil. Add green or add white if you control a forest or the plains. So those lands, I think, are just fine for building the average deck with. If you don't have the slightly better lands, like the battle bond lands or something like that, these can do the trick without losing too much. Okay, so that's my 5th one, and I think the fact this had a meat hook, Yeah, it's got a meat hook one in there, and it's also got a Valgavoth. It's hiding there. Okay. That, and it also had that Overlord card. So um, a pretty good box there probably. Okay, so we've got one more to go, and we'll see if there's anything super fancy we can get out of that. See you there. Thanks. Bye.